Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting video. Today we are going to see what is an API, some practical examples about API, how API actually are used in your project. So if you are working in a Salesforce project, you will pretty much are going to use the API. So here there are different types of API that I'm going to talk about. I actually am going to create some series on these APIs. How can you build your custom APIs in Salesforce? So today I'm just gonna talk about what is an API, what are the different types of API, and some basic understanding on API. So let's get started. Alright, so API stands for Application Programming Interface. You can just Google it. In simple words, if I want to explain, we are just processing data here. We are sending data from one platform to the second platform. That's how we are just playing with data, nothing else. So to give you an example in a practical way, let's say you are working on one Salesforce org. Okay, this is your Salesforce org. Then you have, let's say, Amazon here. Okay, so let's say I want to fetch the price of iPhone 14 from Amazon, and I want to display this price, or perform some business logic based on this price on my Salesforce org. So Salesforce here is going to request to Amazon, okay, about all the prices. So let's say I want to know the prices. I want to know if this if it is available in the stock or what. So all these details I'm going to basically pass. What are the details I'm to fetch? I'm going to make a request from the Salesforce, and I'm going to pass this request to Amazon, and then Amazon is going to basically give me some response here. That okay, so the price of this iPhone is 80,000, 1 lakh, whatever it is, and these many stocks are available, these many units are available, this is the color that is available. All these details are basically going to get from this Amazon to Salesforce. So now this is basically the simplest example of API that we actually use in every single project. So in every single project, we send some data, we receive some data, or we have to send some data once we get a request. So these are the two types of APIs basically. First is inbound API and another is outbound API. So let's talk about these APIs as well. What is inbound API and what is the outbound API? So a lot of people actually get confused about inbound and outbound API. So let's talk about first inbound API. Inbound is basically, if you consider this word in and this out, just focus on these two words, okay? In and out. In means something is coming in, and out means something is going out, basically out of your Salesforce org. So to give an example about inbound API, let's see, this is your Salesforce org. Let's say this is again Amazon, okay? Now Amazon actually is requesting Salesforce about some data. Okay, Amazon is sending requests to your Salesforce org or any platform that is going to send a request to your platform. It is going to consider as the inbound request. Okay, and now we are going to send some response. Okay, let's say Amazon wants to know what is the limit of a customer that can purchase the iPhone. Okay, so Amazon can show some offers based on that, or different promotions, whatever it is. Amazon has to perform some logic. So Amazon is going to send this request to Salesforce, and Salesforce is going to send a response back. That means this API will be inbound API. That is some inbound request Salesforce is receiving, and Salesforce has to provide some response. Now exactly opposite of this is nothing but the outbound API. So if I go here, this is your Salesforce, and let's say this is your Amazon. So the first example I took, that was outbound API only. So Salesforce is sending the request in this case. So this will be your outbound request. Salesforce is basically sending a request to Amazon, asking for some details about the product. Let's say iPhone, what is the price of iPhone, what are the units are available, and Amazon is going to send a response back to the Salesforce. Okay, so ignore about the spellings here. So these response will be the Amazon has to send the response back. So this request is inbound for Amazon, but that's going to be the outbound for Salesforce. So Salesforce is sending the request and getting a response. So these are the two inbound and outbound APIs that are widely used in every single project. So I have worked on tons of APIs actually till now, and in every single project we use a lot of inbound and outbound APIs. Now let's see what actually makes an API. So in every single API you will find few things common. The first is endpoint. Okay, now what is endpoint? Endpoint is nothing but the target database. Let's say you are requesting data from Salesforce to Amazon. So here your endpoint will be Amazon endpoint. Whatever the server Amazon is going to give you, you have to target your request to this specific Amazon endpoint. Now another thing is you also need to authorize it. So you will need to authenticate. So you will have to send your authorization credentials or whatever it is. We're gonna look all about this in later videos. I'm going to show you guys how can you create requests, how can you process all these things in your Salesforce. And last but not least will be your body here. So let's say I want to fetch data for iPhone 14 to 56 GB, pink or black color, whatever the color I want, and all this data I'm going to send into my body. So this body usually so most of the time we actually use a JSON in REST APIs. Again, there is REST API, SOAP API. There are different kinds of APIs as well. I'm gonna make another videos to show you guys, but this video is all about some overview or functional overview. Okay, so your API must contain your endpoint, authorization, and the body as well. There are some public APIs. For example, I'm using this Postman tool. I just wanted to show you guys what actually API looks in action. So I'm using this api.genderize.io. So this basically gives you whatever the data you basically pass to this endpoint or this database. It will basically show you, it will give you some result that if that name is male or female. So right now I'm going to pass this one parameter as a name here, and I'm passing this as Rohit here. If I click the send button, I'm going to send my request to this API endpoint, and I'm going to receive a response. Now if in this response I have received gender as male, so let's say I pass Ria. Okay, if I pass this Ria, I should get a female. So you can see this gender is female right now. And what are the details, what are the things are happening in the background? This is basically application which is doing everything, but in the background we are doing all of these things. So we are basically sending we are calling this API URL here. We are sending all these parameters from the background. There is no authentication required at the moment for this because this is a public API. For public API you won't need any authentication, but for private APIs like Amazon or all these things, we'll have to use the authentication. Now once this is done, all of this actually, if you see, this is basically in JSON. So I received the response from this API in JSON format, but you can actually create based on whatever technology that you're using. You can create your own request. For example, this is the PHP curl request. There is JavaScript as well. You can see, let's say this jQuery. With jQuery you just need to write this piece of code and you just have to run this. That's it, easy peasy lemon squeezy. In Salesforce you can actually, you have to send mostly through JSON as well. So I'm gonna again make videos on how can you create your own requests and everything, how can you process the responses as well. Now this is all about the APIs, guys. I hope you like this video. I have tons of videos I have planned actually, and I'm really excited to bring all the experience, all my knowledge to you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop the comment. You can reach me out. All the links are in the description below, and I hope you guys will have a very happy new year. Actually I forgot to mention that as well. So happy new year, guys. And this year is full of learning all the new things. I'm learning a lot of things right now, and I will be sharing on this YouTube channel as well. So it really helped me a lot if you like this video, and even share with your friends who are learning Salesforce, who are new to Salesforce. So I want to make as many as videos for you guys, so you guys will understand the basic concepts, and from basics to master you can do basically. So thank you so much for watching your video, and I will see you in the next video.